first vlog of 2025, but it feels like it is because it's my first time vlogging alone for 2025. Noemi was here for the first week of the year, which was so wonderful. However, we had such a crazy week and just weren't able to do as much or film as much as we had planned on, just because of the wildfires here in LA, which are still going on as of like the day that I'm filming this. I have not been affected by them whatsoever. The fires have been more so in the hills and kind of in the valley area and just like surrounding the hillside, and I live more so in like the city. All that to say is that I am safe, I am good. I appreciate everybody who checked in because I did get quite a few DMs and messages and comments, and I really appreciate it. I am good. However, obviously the city is not great, so I have been trying my best to just like not even go outside for the sake of air quality. I do have masks, and obviously I've been masking up whenever I do go out, but if I can avoid going out, I will. So I've kind of just been trapped here. Obviously the first week with Noemi was great because at least we were trapped together and we just got to hang. But obviously I had so many plans of things we were gonna do together, and I was gonna take her to like run club and we were gonna go out and just like have a fun time, and that clearly did not happen. But at the end of the day, we're obviously safe and that's priority. But now we're back to just being me, sewing, getting things done, and it's actually a Tuesday today, and I am excited to get back to work. I am dreading getting back to work. It's a lot of emotions all at once, but I'm gonna have my coffee and then I have therapy in like 30 minutes, so I'm gonna do that, and then we'll get into the studio and start sewing today. I still have some inventory to make for the pop-up that I'm participating in, which I'll talk more about once we get to it, but I am going to enjoy my coffee first. Before we get on with the rest of the day, this video is in partnership with Skillshare. If you don't know what Skillshare is, it's the largest online learning community for creatives. When you become a member, you get access to thousands, and I mean thousands, of classes of all different sorts. Personally, I've used a lot of their like entrepreneurship classes, marketing classes, they have sewing classes, design classes, literally everything you could possibly think of. Illustrator, Photoshop, everything you need. And those are just the ones that I've used because they pertain to my business and the things that I would like to work on. But there's stuff like animation and drawing and painting and just other things as well if you just want to delve into a different creative path. But let me show you some of the ones that I've been taking that I have found to be so valuable. And I think that you guys will too, given that you're probably also some sort of creative, maybe an entrepreneur, something of the realm if you're watching me. So let me show you that. When you first log into the platform, it has a series of questions for you to answer to help personalize your homepage. And I love how incredibly in-depth these questions are. It really made me think about what specific skills I wanted to hone in on. And once you do that, your homepage is absolutely personalized, which I love because they have so many classes that it would be really hard to sort through otherwise. So I love that they do this so that they really just put out all the classes that make the most sense for you right up front. And in this little top section, you can actually choose which specific skill you wanted to work on, and then it gives you the top 4 classes for that. So I went through and tried to figure out which one I wanted to take, and I was really drawn into this marketing one because I'm trying to amp my social media again this year with my brand, given that I'm doing this pop-up. I really want to amplify it as best as I can on social. So I've been taking this class, which has been so informative. And you guys know I'm constantly trying to learn more about pattern making and sewing because I think there's just endless techniques and an endless amount of knowledge out there. So I've never learned how to properly make lingerie, but I found this course and I've been taking it, and I'm so excited to delve into it because it's not something that I learned specifically in school, but something that I just would really like to know otherwise. And I think it'd be helpful for other aspects of sewing and other techniques I want to use in my work. I absolutely love Skillshare as a platform. It has so many classes and different niches of classes that I feel like absolutely everybody can find at least one class that pertains to something that they want to learn, what they want to strengthen, or just something that they're curious about. And the first 500 people that use the link in my description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So get started today and let's get on with our day. Alrighty, it is 10 a.m. now. I just got done with therapy and then I just needed a few moments to sit with that for a second. And now we're back in the studio. So I feel like I say this in every vlog, but I also just have to remind myself that not every single person watches every single vlog. So if you haven't been around for the last month or so, I'm doing a 6-month long pop-up at the Century City Mall, which is like a huge mall here in LA. And it starts on January 31st. That's like launch day. So we're getting close to it. Noemi and I made a lot of stuff while she was here, which was so helpful just because I haven't really had like a huge production week in a long time, and obviously post holidays and post just like not working for a few weeks, it was just a lot to get back into. So it was really helpful to have her here and just like tag team it. So we did make a lot of stuff. I still have some things that I want to make. So one of those being these baby tees that go along with the pants. pants. The pants we made already when Noemi was here, so I just have to make the shirts. And the only reason we didn't make them is because it's hard to make them with somebody, because I kind of just like patchwork as I go and kind of build the pattern as I go, so it's not really like a two-person job. But that's kind of what I want to start working on. Sometimes these take a long time, sometimes they don't. It really just depends on how patchworked you make them. So I have all these scraps here from cutting out the pants, and then I obviously still have a lot of the actual fabric left. So usually I'll do the scraps for like the actual like shirt itself. The sleeves I'll use the actual fabric for, just because it's not patchworked, but they are very small anyway. And then yeah, the collar, same thing. But otherwise it is fully patchworked, and I do actually use all the scraps that I have. That being said, I need to make 3. I'm just starting with like a small, medium, large of everything to begin with, and then once the pop-up starts and I kind of see what people gravitate towards and the store tells me what kind of sizes have been most popular, then I'll make more of what is needed. And obviously like on my tags for all these things it says like more sizes available on my website as made to order, so it's not like I don't have these sizes. It's just like very hard for me to make like 7 sizes of each thing, because that'd be a lot of things to make all at once for me. So I'm trying to just be reasonable with how much inventory I make and how much I'm actually physically able to make. But that is the size range that I'm just gonna go with for now. And then yeah, I'm just like, it's a 6-month-long pop-up, so as the months go by I'll see what's more popular and what people are kind of demanding more of, and then kind of go from there. So that is what we're gonna do. There's really no science to this whole patchworking thing. I really just like put things together and start like sewing them up until it creates a big enough kind of piece of fabric to cut my pattern out from, and that's kind of how I go about it. So it's nothing too crazy or too calculated. I like to start with the bigger pieces first. There's not too many big pieces right here, but I don't know, things that are a little bit bigger like this versus doing something as small as this, which I do use the small ones too, but it is easier to start with the bigger ones. And I do also have a bag of more scraps that I'm gonna grab as well from previous pants and things I've cut out. These are just the scraps from the 3 pants that we've already made, but I definitely have some more somewhere from all the other things we've made throughout the years. So let's get to it. It is 11:45. I put together one of these tops. The only thing that's left on it is to hem it, but I do that with the double needle on my regular sewing machine. So I'm just gonna get these as put together as I can and then hem them all at the same time. So basically one kind of done. I did also take a bit of a break to do other work for a different job. I have like 3 extra part-time social media jobs. Some of them are editing, some of them are just like posting for people. So between like 11:30 is when I like to post for other people. So I got that out of the way. And I think I'm gonna stop here for now and then get ready to have some lunch, get ready to eat. And then hopefully this afternoon we can knock out at least one more. Hopefully just like the other 2 is what I'm hoping for. Like I should really just aim to get all 3 of these done today. That is the goal. That is actually what I should set my goal to be. And then the last few things I wanna make for this pop-up are the white Diana dresses, because I realized I still have a good amount of that fabric left and those sold really well back in the day. So I wanna make as many as I can with the fabric that I have left, which I don't really know how much that will be. It might be 3, 4, 5, maybe less. I really have no idea. So I want to get that fabric out and see what we can make of it. And then I also wanted to make a couple of the rose corsets, but again, like TBD on those if they get done or not. Those are less priority for me. More priority is finishing these sets. And I do think I really want to make the Diana dresses, because again, those sold really well a couple years ago when I first launched them. That's kind of priority. Hopefully today we just get these done though. Okay, I'm making myself a sandwich, which I feel like is very out of character. I feel like I like to like properly cook things, but I went to Joshua Tree with my friends for New Year's and I planned out all the meals and did all the grocery shopping and everything. And like on New Year's Day, I bought like enough to do breakfast at the Airbnb, and then we were gonna do sandwiches in the park because we went like inside the actual park to do a hike or whatever. But because we all woke up kind of late and just had like breakfast kind of late at like 11ish, by the time we went into the park, like nobody was hungry to like make sandwiches for lunch. So we ended up just like, I don't know, snacking when we came back and then having dinner. So all I'd say is that I had bought enough things to make sandwiches for 8 people, and I've just been trying to get through all of the bits and pieces of that. Obviously Noemi was here this past week, so we had sandwiches a few times to kind of get through everything, but there's still a few more ingredients and things to get through, so I'm just trying to get rid of that. So I am usually gluten intolerant and I do usually eat gluten-free bread. However, I do still have a lot of normal bread, and I don't get terribly sick if I have gluten. It just like doesn't sit very well in my stomach, but if I have it earlier in the day, it's easier for me to kind of like digest it. So I'm fine with having this for like lunch and then kind of digesting throughout the day and whatever, but ideally I would have gluten-free bread, but I also just don't want this bread to go to waste, and it's not that deep. So I'm gonna make it work. Sandwich haul. The fact that the sandwich is so big it doesn't fit properly on this plate, and yes, I do have bigger plates, but it seems a bit excessive to use a huge plate for a sandwich. So lunchtime, I'm gonna eat this and then we'll get back to patchworking. Guys, I cannot be left alone for more than like 5 minutes because tell me why I just booked a flight to Spain next week. For context, my mom is there right now. Obviously my whole family lives there, and I haven't been to my hometown anyway in 2 years. I went to Spain last year when I did the Camino, but I didn't see any of my family, so I haven't seen anybody in 2 years. And it's just hard for me as an individual to go visit because my family lives kind of in the middle of nowhere, Spain, so it's just really hard to get to, and it's just not an easy trip, and it's just not a trip that I tend to do by myself. Like, it's just easier if I go like with my parents or with my brother or like whoever. So I decided to take advantage of it that my mom is there and go hang out for a week and just see my family and just like have a little moment of settling before the chaos of this year, because it is about to be a very chaotic year. Just doing a 6-month-long pop-up, like I feel like I just keep saying it and I don't think I've like fathomed like how much that's gonna be. And like granted, it all depends on how it goes. Like if nothing sells super well, then I'm not gonna be out here like making a bunch of stuff all the time. But if things do well, which I would hope they do, that means I'm gonna have to consistently be making stock for 6 months, which is crazy. So I think I just want to like clear my brain and like reground myself for a week before the chaos and all that. Like I'm gonna come back right before it officially launches, and obviously all of these pieces are due anyway on the 20th. Like I have to give them all my inventory on the 20th, so all of that will be already out of the way. There's not more I can do in the meantime before the time I come back, so it works out nicely. Hopefully that just means I do actually now have more of a deadline of like trying to get things done. But you guys know I love to work under pressure. I love to have a little trip to keep me motivated, so this is maybe exactly what I needed. Let's get back into it though, because that did take up a bit of time and it's 1:30 now, so I want to at least try to get 2 more of these done. If they're not fully hemmed, that's fine, but at least like start piecing them together. I think that's the goal for this afternoon. It is 4 o'clock and I just finished all 3 shirts, so they're all here. Again, they're not hemmed yet, they are just put together, but I feel like the last couple took me a bit because a lot of these offcuts are just such weird shapes and I have to like square them all off properly, and it's just a lot more intricate. So the first one doesn't have as much. Obviously I also need to like iron all of these out, so don't mind that. This one has quite a bit, I feel like, on the front. I was able to find some bigger pieces for the back, but this one has quite a bit of detailing on there, as well as this one I feel like has quite a bit as well. So again, I just need to iron them out and then iron down the hems so that I can do the double hems on my actual machine. But I am just like, I'm kind of worn out from this today, so I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I think I'll probably come back to it later tonight, because again, I would like to just check these off the list tonight, but I think I just need like a mental break from seeing this for a second, so we'll come back to it. I've been stuck inside for a week now basically, because the fire started last Monday, but Tuesday was the first day that we were like kind of just hunkered down at home, and it is currently the following Tuesday, so I've literally just been in this apartment for 7 days straight. I've only left a handful of times, 1 to donate clothing, 2 to drop off Noemi. I think that's it. So I just feel like I'm extra tired because I haven't been able to like go on walks or like go for a run or just like move my body, so I just feel like a little bit more tired, I guess. Like I just want to be able to move around, and the weather app says that the quality of the air is like fine right now. I don't trust that. Like there's just no way that the air quality is that cleared out yet when the fires are not fully cleared out yet. So I'm just gonna play it safe because I would rather just like be able to keep myself healthy. But I am going a little stir crazy and I am feeling the lack of being able to go outside. So all I have to say is that that is why I think I'm just like extra tired, because I've not been able to like go out, move around, and see the sun. About 6:30 and I did already have dinner because I was just hungry, so I just went ahead and ate. I also did shower. Did I put on my PJs once again? Yes, but what's new? I'm gonna go ahead and start ironing these out, and then once they're like ironed out and look a little bit nicer. Then I'm just gonna fold up the hem and iron those, and then hopefully just sew them down tonight and get these fully checked off. I'm feeling good about all of this and just kind of getting it all done, but I don't think my mind has comprehended, like, once I check all these things off a list, it's only the beginning. Like, I think in my head I'm like, oh, it'll be done, and then like that's it, like that's the pop-up. But no, like I'm gonna be making inventory for the next 6 months, and I just don't think that's settled into my brain just yet. But obviously I'm very excited about it. I think I've had a very odd couple of years with my brand when I just did a lot of obviously Aerostore custom orders, and then just trying to like find myself and my brand again, and all of it has felt kind of difficult. I'm just trying to go back to like my roots a little bit. I'm gonna iron all of this, and then we'll just get it all sewn tonight so that we can properly check it off the list for today. Okay, I've officially finished all 3 shirts. They are fully hemmed. I just have to re-iron down all the hems to make sure they're good. There's 1, here's 2, and 3. I really doubted whether or not I was gonna finish these days because I got so tired of them. So that is our inventory for today. I will catch you guys tomorrow for hopefully some Diana dresses. I think that's what we're gonna start on tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It is the next day. For one, I got dressed today because I am gonna leave the house eventually today. So I figured I might as well give you guys a change of scenery and actually get dressed. I'm gonna start cleaning up the studio a little bit so that we can get started on cutting out the Diana dresses. When it comes to my scraps, it's been so difficult because I used to save absolutely every single bit of fabric, every little tiny scrap, then use in some sort of way. But obviously, like, the more you sew and the more things you make, it gets really hard to store all those things and really hard to find ways to utilize them. So then I started sending bits out to 4 Days, which is now rebranded to Trashy, because they used to have a take back bag for fabrics, but they got rid of it recently and only take back cotton fabrics for recycling, which I'm sure is probably because it was really hard to sort through all the bits that people were sending, and like textile recycling is just not so easy. So all that to say is that I then was like paralyzed and like didn't know what to do with all these things because I was making so many custom orders and just like was constantly buying new fabric and was ending up with so many scraps, which like I just don't have the capacity to use every single bit up. And like, to be fair, I still have so many scraps of like my very first products and stuff, but I've been having to just like rewire my brain to let me throw out certain pieces. I still save like majority of it. I've used them for like pillow stuffing and things like that, but it just gets to a point when you're producing so much stuff that like there is no room for more. Like I have at least like 8, maybe 9 like full bins of just like these tiny scraps. Like I have more than enough for, you know, stuffing things and using it for that type of stuff. So it's been a difficult mindset switch for me because I feel guilty about it, but also it's just like clearly the systems aren't built for me to be able to recycle things properly, and that's not really my problem as much as it is like, you know, the system's problem that they should be making it more accessible to the average person. But all I have to say is that now when I sort through my scraps, I try to separate out things that are bigger, that are usable, especially for these patchwork ones, like things like this versus like, I don't know, something like this that like isn't as usable anymore. I know literally nobody's gonna be sitting here like mad at me, but I just feel guilty about it. Also, complete side note, but Bad Bunny's new album is so good. And listen, I've never like sat to like really listen to Bad Bunny. Like I've obviously heard like the most popular songs and like I know them all, and like obviously I speak Spanish, so like I can actually like listen and understand them, but I've never sat to like actually listen to an album of his fully. And I actually really love like Latin music in general. Like I love reggaeton, I love all that type of stuff. I obviously grew up with it as well, being that I am Hispanic, so like there's a sense of nostalgia to any music that's in Spanish to me. I always joke with my mom that anytime that I need to like clean or really get something like done, I just put that music on because it reminds me of her cleaning on like Saturday or Sunday mornings at home. She would always just blast like any sort of Spanish Latin music and like clean, and so whenever I need to get into that mood, I do the same thing, and I feel like it always makes me so much more productive. So generally speaking, like Latin music just has like a special place in my heart, and I've always really enjoyed it and really loved it. And I grew up dancing flamenco in my flamenco class. My teacher always also added in other just fun like Latin dances and things that we also did, so I just grew up with it and I really love it. And his new album is just so good. I actually like sat to listen to it, and I am mad at myself for never having done that previously. honestly. So I'm gonna delve into the rest of his discography, even though I know it's different from this one. This one's like very specific. But yeah, I think one of my resolutions for this year that I didn't mention in my end of year wrap up is that I want to listen to more music. I think I got so pigeonholed into Taylor Swift the last 2 years, naturally so, because of the Eras tour and because I was making a bunch of stuff. And I've always loved Taylor. Like she's always been my top artist since I can remember. Probably still will be. But I think I just pigeonholed myself so much that I like didn't even like give myself the space to listen to anybody else. So I'm trying to like branch out again, because I used to love just finding new music and stuff, but then I don't know, I haven't. I think it takes work to actually like go out of your way to find new music, and I think I need to go into that again. So that is one of my goals for this year, and my first one being Bad Bunny. So we are starting off strong. All that to say is that I'm gonna listen to it now while I sort this, because I need some sort of motivation right now. Okay, so I've brought out the Diana fabric. I actually think I have so much of it. I didn't properly measure it, but I think I might be able to get like a good, maybe like 4 or 5 dresses out of it. So I'm gonna start with like a small, medium, large, and then if I have more fabric, then maybe I'll do like an extra small and extra large, and then go from there. But it's so nostalgic to see this fabric. If you haven't been around for too long, I bought these fabrics in Spain, in my hometown, at like our local flea market, and they're dead stock fabrics, right? And I made a whole collection for it. It was the first time I did like a proper photo shoot with it in LA, with like a proper studio and models, and it was just one of my favorite collections ever, and it sold really well at the time, and it was the last collection I put out before moving to LA as well, so it was what kind of funded my move. And yeah, it's just so nostalgic to look at this. And then my mom went back to Spain a little bit later, maybe like a couple months later, and bought the rest of this fabric because everybody loved it so much. So this is really like, oh my god, this leaf blower is literally gonna drive me nuts. Guys, this leaf blower, I literally, every time I film, they only come once a week. Why is it always the day that I'm filming? Oh my god. And my camera's flashing. Anyway, story time will resume later because I need to recharge my camera and I don't want to talk over this. So be back in a sec. So I just finished cutting all 3 dresses. I actually do have quite a bit of fabric left, so I think I'll be able to do like maybe 3, 4 more. But I think I'm actually going to wait to cut more out and just do those 3 and kind of see which size sells first, and then make more depending on that. I'm gonna start sewing them. And if you remember back in the day when I tried to sew these, this is a knit fabric, so I did serge them, but my serger kept getting so jammed with this because it's quite a thick fabric. So what I think I'm gonna do is actually just serge the edges of everything so that it's like clean, but I'm just gonna sew it normally and I think it's gonna be fine. I haven't made these in like 2 years. I was in the midst of telling you the story about them when the leaf blower came by and then my battery died. But basically, yeah, I made these dresses 2 years ago, well, almost 3 years ago actually, spring of 2022. They sold super well. It was all dead stock fabric that I got in my hometown in Spain at like our local flea market. So this is like the very last bit of it. Like I will not be able to repurchase it or remake these, and it actually did really well. I know a lot of people bought them for like graduation, a lot of people bought them for like bridal events and things, and I just think it's such a cute dress, and I love this fabric. It's such a fun fabric. So I'm excited to kind of get this fabric finished up and use it all up. We have reached lunchtime, and I think I'm gonna do the same thing as yesterday and have another sandwich because I still have like just so much stuff for it left. I'm really trying to get through it because I don't want it to go bad. So I'm literally gonna make the exact same thing as yesterday. Honestly, it kind of slaps. I do love a really good sandwich, so I'm not mad about it. Okay, it's time to get back into it. I have all of these serged already, like all 3 of these sizes. So I'm just gonna start with it. I think I'm going to, I'm trying to debate if I should do like piece by piece of each or if I should just do like one whole one at a time. But I think I'm just gonna do one whole one at a time. I'm gonna start by putting together the front to back first. So I'm gonna sew those up. Actually, first of all, I'm gonna sew the tag to the back. It's always easier to sew the tags in before you put it all together so that this part's like laying flat when you're putting that on there. I always forget, and then trying to put it on after is sometimes kind of just annoying. Size tag first, then front to back, and then sleeves and hem and collar, and that's it. It sounds so much simpler when I just put it out into words like that, but hopefully it doesn't take too long. Hopefully I can get back into like the rhythm of when I was making these like a bunch and kind of just go for it. Okay, time check. It is 2:50 and I just finished 2 of these fully. So I just have 1 left. I actually am going through this a lot faster than I thought. So I am just gonna finish this one and then I'll have all 3 fully done. And I think I'll even still have time to just like do other work and things today, which is good. But yeah, these are a lot faster than I remember. I don't know why I thought these were gonna take me longer, but they're actually quite quick. I feel like the muscle memory really kicked in and we're just at it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this last one and then we can check these off the list. And then the only thing I have left of things that I sent for my initial line sheet for them was the rose corsets, and I think I'm only doing 2 of those. I can probably do those like tomorrow, probably finish those up, and then we'll be good to go. And then I think I just want to start making some new inventory. Like I want to just play around with other fabrics I have and other designs and things, and just like maybe make some one-off pieces or like 2-off pieces. We'll see. I want to play around, but let's finish this up and just get that fully checked off. Okay, time check. It's actually 3:20 now and I just finished the 3rd one, so they're all done. I did not realize how quickly I can sew these because I'm pretty sure that took me less than an hour to do. So these are done, and here's obviously my like rack of things. This isn't like the full rack of stuff. This is all for a shoot that I'm styling, so that is kind of put to the side. This one's not going there, and these are all also just my own pieces. So from here to here is everything I'm selling so far, and I haven't separated these out until their own separate hangers yet, but these are all the dresses. They're all in one, so there's like 6 different ones on here, but it's starting to slowly get full, which is exciting. I believe the rack that I have at the store is probably roughly the size of this, so I didn't want it to be super overpacked, but I don't want it to be super underpacked, I guess, either. So I'm hoping that all of this kind of individually will look better, and I'm hoping that they have for like the pants and stuff like the clipped hangers so that they like are long clipped. Yeah, I'm gonna find hangers for these so I can put these up there, and then I can check it off the list for today. I have a little bit of computer work and editing that I want to do, but I'm not gonna particularly film that. I'll catch you guys in a little bit with an update if there is an update, but yeah, I feel really good about where we're at with this.